Hello, it's Dan here. I hope you're good today. Now, yesterday was my birthday. Yeah, happy birthday to me. Thank you. Reminded me of three very useful things that are useful for the kind of stuff we do, and particularly for mental health. So yesterday I took the day off with my wife and kids, and we spent the day together. We went out for a walk and stuff. Just enjoyed spending time together. It's just nice, nice day, and getting out, playing some games at home, and just interacting away from screens and stuff. And certainly, one of the main things I was reminded of, which is really key in terms of mental health and well-being, is just spending time with the people you enjoy spending time with. Whether like me, that's your wife and kids, and doing that, whether it's a good friend, whether it's somebody else, but actually just spending some time with them away from screens, not looking at your phone all the time, just interacting, just hanging out, but just having that quality time is just so important. Like I say, for mental health, for well-being, for just enjoying life and being happy. So really incorporate that into your life. You don't have to wait until your birthday. You can incorporate elements of that into your day or into your week. Whether it's a bit of time here, whether it's longer periods, whether it's something special, or just doing routine stuff, just interacting, like I say, talking, playing games, conversation, all really good stuff. The second thing that came up yesterday was yesterday I had my first coffee shop coffee for 12 weeks. Which is may not sound like a lot to some of you, but that's a big deal for me. Before lockdown, routinely and for several months, I would grab a coffee shop coffee, every morning. I felt like I needed that caffeine hit. In my mind, I became almost convinced without even realizing that habit. I was justifying to myself that I needed that so that I could think clearly and perform, to give me a lift, a boost. I enjoyed it. There was always a reason to go for that habit. Now, obviously, lockdown took that away. And yesterday, was a treat. I enjoyed it. Yet, no longer do I feel, controlled by it or compelled to have it. I'm back in control. I can choose. And it's a really important point. We don't want to be controlled by stuff. If we have to have something, or we have to do something, then we've lost that element of control. We've lost the ability to make the decision, and we just have to keep repeating. So it applies whether it's caffeine, like it was for me, whether it's sugar, whether it's certain behaviours, habits, or patterns, whatever it is. We don't want to be controlled by those things. Like I say, you don't have to wait for a lockdown to change that for you. Put barriers in place, make it harder to do. Pause, make the decision beforehand. Go a different route. I don't have to walk past the coffee shop. I don't have to go in there. I don't have to carry money. I don't have to have chocolate or sweet stuff. If I don't want to be eating those, I don't have to buy them. I don't have to have them display at home. I don't have to make it easy for myself. I can put barriers in place, and those barriers support achieving the kind of goals that you want to. But albeit that you might still, like I will, enjoy the occasional kind of coffee here and there. But putting barriers in place puts you in control and makes it easier. You're not battling with willpower to do the kind of stuff you're desiring to do. And then the third thing that really was obvious yesterday was we took some time to just get out in nature. There's a lovely walk that we discovered that's on a business park just down the road. If you live in Ely, on Lancaster Park, there's a nice walk there, fairly new. It was lovely, quiet, solitude. There was nature, the birds were out, lovely flowers, all that kind of stuff going on. It was tranquil, I think is the word I would use. And we know from the research and evidence that spending time in nature is positively linked with less anxiety, less stress, and more well-being, and feeling better and satisfied and well-being and all that good stuff. So for your mental health, really cultivate opportunities to get out in nature. Like I say, research, when they ask people, when they test them, even when they test their saliva for stress hormones, it's shown time and time again, just a small amount of time, even 2 or 3 times a week for 10, 20 minutes, sometimes even less, is enough to give you a nature boost and to really improve your mental health and your well-being. So spending time in nature, really positive thing to do, something that I really encourage you to do, and particularly you can link it with exercise like walking and stuff, running through that kind of place. We know again from research exercise is great. I'll bang on about that enough probably in my blogs and on these videos. But certainly, like I say, spending time with the people you enjoy with, having real conversations, getting away from screens, doing stuff, interacting, brilliant stuff, putting things in place that put barriers, limits, so you you're free of those kind of habits, those behaviors, those things that you want to be free of, or at least you're deciding you're in control. Again, a positive place to be, and you can put physical things in place, you can put thinking patterns in place. There are lots of things that can be done there, and I'll put a link to a blog I did that was linked to science and research around willpower and being in control. And then, like I say, spending time in nature, a wonderful thing to do. Combine it with time with people you enjoy being with. For your mental health, for your well-being, for reducing anxiety and reducing stress and all those kind of things. You probably can't beat it, except if you link it with exercise, which I said I wouldn't mention again. So yeah, three things that, three really valuable mental health things that, I noticed yesterday. I hope you find those valuable, and I will speak to you very soon. You take care now.